in the Bikini Dome. It is a special Saturday edition of the AJ Bikini Sports Mafia with AJ's special guest, whom he'll introduce. But first of all, it's the one, the only, the godfather of good sportsmanship, the Don of sports debate. It is AJ Bokine.
What's up, everybody? What's up, Jack? How's everybody doing today?
We're
Um, I'm
great.
hon- I'm honored to have our guest on today, John Johnson. You know what you mean to me, and you know what you did for me. But for those who don't know, John actually took a chance on me after college and hired me at St. Catherine's. And for those who also don't know, John knows this and Mike knows this, but I did not use my power chair for an entire year at St. Catherine's for a homeless. So the fact that we made it work, Johnny, and you know what that year meant to me and what that year meant to my finished prospects, but the fact that we made it work means so much to me, and I just wanted to start with that. So honored to have you on,
Well,
man.
that year meant a ton to me too, AJ. The fact that we were able to work together and we were able to get you Ed Mesmer as an assistant coach and work with Nick Bennett and
Yes,
have you
sir.
as part of that terrific tradition at
Yes, sir.
I'll call it Angel High was awesome.
Yes, sir, man. Yes, sir. I still keep in contact with Mike and you and Bennett, and it's just awesome to see that you guys still follow me. And well, let's get right into it, Johnny. For those who don't know, Johnny is a very Johnny was actually one of my first interviews for Finish when I first came out. If you remember that, Johnny, too. I was
Yes.
on with you. I was on with you and Brian, I think a couple times when it first
Yep.
came out, and just a great opportunity for me, and it was just great. So our paths are crossed and still continue to cross. So it's awesome. So yeah,
Absolutely. We our paths actually crossed years ago
yes, sir.
I was in Manitowoc and AJ was growing up in Kohler, and
Yes,
I got
sir.
to know his family a little bit. Then I worked with his mom for a couple of years in Sheboygan Falls, and
Oh
that
man,
was
you worked with the boss, John?
Yeah.
Wow,
yeah. I
You
she's
think
worked for the
tough.
boss.
you think
Yes.
I
Yep.
you think you think I'm tough stuff? He works with a award-winning AD assistant now.
Yes.
So
Good old Lisa Bocchini, no question. Yes, I
yes,
did.
sir.
Got that right. But that was I was at we worked at the same cast before that. AJ, we talked too about there were a lot of great stories that we built at St. Cat's and we shared with Mike Ritkers and Nick Bennett and but I think one of the things we talked about this morning happened after both of us left St. Cat's.
Yeah,
This was
I,
only
I wanted
5 years ago.
I wanted to get into that story too, Jack, because those kids, for those who don't know, the year before St. Kitts won the state title, they went 25 and 0, and we all know what happened.
What?
COVID shut the season down.
Oh,
So they went 25 and 0, were on their way to state, if I remember that right, John.
That's
And
correct.
COVID shut the season down. And then after that, the year after that, they split the tournament into two locations because they didn't want too many people.
mm.
And what does St. Cat's come back and do? They say, forget that. We're just going to go win the whole thing. So they
And they
went and
did win
won.
the whole thing.
Yeah, they
They did
did.
win the whole thing. AJ, let me take one step back to the year before, though. You know, they were 25 and 0 during that year of COVID when they shut the season down. Do you
Yep.
realize that they couldn't play a home game that year? They didn't
Uh,
practice in their own gym, and they still
uh,
won 25 games and lost none. So that
well,
Wow.
led
I
into the next season.
well I know the feeling, Jack, because what people don't know is I was supposed to coach with Jake Ritzmacher, right? Coach of lacrosse
Yes,
now. I
yes,
was
you
supposed
bet.
I was supposed to coach with Gritzmacher at Mount Mirror, and Bryan and Stratton, but because they practice in Waukesha County and not at actual Bryan and Stratton at Mount Mary, I couldn't get there. So it's funny how things work out because Ritzmacher is actually in the championship today against Whitewater. So
Right.
it's funny.
Yes.
Yeah.
Against your alma mater.
Yes, sir. I texted Gritz on his birthday. I said, "Really, you're gonna make me choose today?" But it's all good. So, but yeah,
Yeah.
but those guys at St. Cats. Let's talk about what those guys are up to now. Uh, Tyrese is in the G League with Houston, I believe, and
Yep.
Kamari did Kamari graduate yet or no?
Kamari graduated. Yes, he did.
And he's got his own clothing line. Is that correct?
That is right.
Wow.
Awesome.
So you're talking about Kamari McGee, who was with Wisconsin, and Tyrese. What was the last name again? I'm sorry, I do.
Hunter.
Tyrese Hunter.
He was at Iowa State, Texas, and Memphis. Ironically, when he was at Iowa State, I was working at Pfizer, and I had a proud coach moment, even though I didn't coach the kid. He had 7 threes in the NCAA tournament. You remember that, Johnny?
Yeah, I do. Yep.
At Pfizer as a freshman. So
Yep.
it was kind of cool.
That is cool. Very
Yep.
cool. So, John, what? Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, you go ahead, Jack.
I was just going to say, what did you think of AJ when you first met him, and then how has he changed and evolved since that first meeting?
When I first met AJ, I think AJ was still a little bit of a shell of himself, and I think one of the things that has brought AJ out of that shell is the sport of basketball. That all started at St. Catherine. Well, I would say it started before St. Catherine's because AJ was able to work with the program at UW Whitewater and work with another friend of ours, Pat Miller, who was the head coach at UW Whitewater at that time, and they won a conference championship and won a national championship. Correct, AJ?
2
national championships. That's right.
Yes, sir.
So basketball has helped AJ evolve, and then after he was at Whitewater and graduated, he comes to St. Cat's. We got him involved with the program at St. Cat's, and through the help of Nick Bennett and Mike Ritkers, we got him involved at St. Cat's, and he's done nothing but move forward since then.
And let me tell you a little story, Jack. You may not know this.
Okay.
But Bennett called me, Johnny, and you may not know the story either. Bennett called me and said, "You know what? You get a job, and I'll help you get into St. Cat's, right?" So you know what I did for half a year? Do you remember this, Johnny? What did I do for half a year?
You got to refresh my memory. What'd you do?
Besides talk smart.
I worked at Walmart because I wanted to.
Oh, that's right.
Yes. I wanted to coach for you guys so bad. In fact, I'm sitting in a group home right now because that was my only option to coach in Racine because there was no way to get from Kenosha to Racine where I currently lived at the time. So if I hadn't moved to that group home, I don't meet Mike Ritkers and I don't get the opportunity to coach with you, and who knows what happens. So
right.
Yep. Wow, I never knew you worked at Walmart, AJ.
I did for half a year, and then honestly, some stuff went down there that I'm not going to talk about, but it was great. It was what I was like, what are you wanting to do to make this happen? So
excellent. Very cool.
It's funny how things work out like that, right? Yep.
Yep.
So John, tell us about you. What are you doing now? What has been your path?
Well, it's interesting. I've done a lot of things. I started my career in athletics and coaching, I'm going to say many moons ago, as an assistant women's basketball coach at Silver Lake College in Manitoba, which is now closed. Silver Lake closed a number of years ago. It became Holy Family College, then closed. But I was an assistant there for 2 years. and then moved to St. Mary's University of Minnesota. For about 9 years, I was an admission advisor and assistant men's basketball coach.
Wow.
Then on to Marquette, and for 2 years at Marquette, I got a chance to get to know Tom Crean there a little bit and work in as an admission advisor there and helped athletics. Then I ended up working into high school athletics at Manitowoc Lincoln for 9, St. Catharines for 2, and now I'm at Milwaukee Mesmer. In between there, I taught special ed for a little while, but now I'm at Mesmer High School in Milwaukee. This is my 3rd year as the athletic director there.
Nice.
What is an athletic director? What's the definition of that at high school level, John?
Oversee the athletic program. You're in charge of all the event management at the games, like the basketball games, football games, track meets, cross country meets, wrestling meets. You're overseeing those home events, and you get a handful of workers to put on all those events for you. You're also evaluating coaches, but I think the best part of my job, Jack and AJ, is building relationships with kids. And that's always been my number one goal, to build great relationships with kids. And I think the best way to get to know how to do that is to get to know kids' names. I try to do that as best I can so that I never forget a kid's name, because I'm not comfortable when I say hi to somebody and they don't say my name back to me. But I'd rather have a kid say, "Hey, Mr. Johnson," or "Hey, John," and I know that kid's name, or I know that person's name. That makes me feel good. I know that makes the other person feel good, and that helps the relationship get started.
Yeah, there's a saying, the number one word that anybody likes to hear is their own name. That's
right.
Really just an icebreaker.
Johnny, I want to share a really cool moment with
AJ.
Did we lose him?
Yeah, AJ. There, AJ, your volume.
Sorry.
We can't hear you. You have to start over. Yeah, we can hear you now. You just said you want to share a cool moment, and then you went mute on us. So go ahead.
Well, my phone rang. So
okay.
I just celebrated a 4-year senior class for the first time ever. So that was pretty cool. So yeah.
That's awesome.
So these kids started there's 3 of them. They started with me as freshmen, and now they're seniors. So it's cool.
AJ, what struck you about John, or what do you think people should know about John?
John, can I share this story, John, or no?
Absolutely.
I think John, what people don't know is John has a son, or who also has cerebral palsy, and I stick to this day, John. I think you hired me, and I will say this, because you saw a lot of Brady in me. Okay? And
absolutely.
And for that reason, I'll be forever grateful, because you know this as well as I do. Every time it's his birthday, he's the first person I think of, because cerebral palsy is nothing to me but a platform. It's not a disability. Right. You have the energy. You're good. If you have the energy, you're good to go. So there's no such thing as a disability in cerebral, in the CP world or anything. It's just the way it is. So
you're exactly right. And you're exactly right. And it is a platform, and you can't let things like that hold you back. And AJ is a prime example of that. My son was born with cerebral palsy in 1996. He lacked oxygen at birth and only lived to be the age of 11. But he could do so many things that nobody really understood that he could do. I mean, he had so much ability. We knew that he was thinking something, even though he couldn't talk like AJ can. We knew that he was a special little boy. And AJ, we took Brady's death and built a platform from it in Manitowoc. And AJ's done the same thing. He's built a platform for himself and for people that suffer from this disease, it is not a disability. It definitely is something that you can open up and build a platform from and do great things with.
And honestly, John, I'll be honest with you, Jack, and you may not know this portion of the story. Um, I I am very lucky because I think that everything in my life goes back to St. Catherine's. Um, if I had never been to St. Catherine, I would never know what it took to be independent and what it took to understand independence. So um, I just think that I think that I want the people at St. Cat's really taught me what I needed to do to make it through adversity. So appreciate that.
AJ, one of the best days of my entire life was the day we spent in Oshkosh when
Yeah,
Jack St. Cat's won the state championship, and they had to play 2 games in one day just because of COVID. So they played late morning and won. And then AJ and I and his dad and a group of people, AJ's family, and then Mike Ritker's mom, who's AJ's good friend from St. Cat's, and a bunch of others. We went to a wonderful restaurant in Fond du Lac near Oshkosh. Um, and AJ, remember the name of that restaurant? Oh,
I
I
don't.
do. I do. It's Wentz. Wentz has one of the best Friday fish fries, perch fries in the entire state of Wisconsin. So we all went there. We all went there and hung out for lunch, and later on went back to the
Oh yeah,
arena in Oshkosh, and that's when the Angels won the state championship. That was a great day,
yeah.
AJ.
And
Man.
if you remember, Jack or Johnny, that team was loaded. That team was
Oh yeah.
absolutely loaded. They had
Yep.
the Lambert who played at Whitewater, Tyrese and Kamari were just the figureheads, and they had Junior Barker who ended up playing at Whitewater too.
Yes.
But those kids were so nice to me, and I remember um, Jack and John the year after you won the state title, and the book came out, or maybe it was the year before, and the book had just come out, and you remember this, John, because you were there. Bennett had T-shirts ordered for the entire team, and they wore the finished T-shirt for their warm-ups.
That was at
Wow,
the state
cool.
tournament. That was at the
Was
state
it?
tournament. It was. Yes. Yep.
That was cool.
How cool is that?
So
Man.
yeah,
Yep.
so yeah, so yeah, so lots of great memories. It was just awesome to see and awesome to be a part of, and I now have the confidence. I had the confidence to put my story on the news, and we don't know what happened. So um, it's good. It's good.
And AJ,
So
you just keep doing great things. I mean,
yes, sir.
every time I turn around, I hear from you, and Johnny, I did this, and John, I did that, and
Well,
I
and
see
you know what the
things
best part is,
come up.
John? I now can give virtual presentations
Sure.
because I do
Yes.
the podcast. Because I do the podcast and everything. So now I can
Yep.
do it virtually. So I've done Minnesota and Michigan and all the Ohio and all virtual. So it's kind of cool. So Jack,
All
do you have
through
any
the
other
Midwest.
questions? Jack, any
Hmm.
other questions?
No, I think it's pretty cool, John. So how long have you been? Well, yes, I guess I do have a couple more. John, how long have you been with Mesmer? No, how long has
This
it
is
been?
my third year at Mesmer.
Third year.
Prior to Mesmer, in between my job at Racine St. Catherine's and Mesmer, I was teaching special education up in the Sheboygan area, and that was a challenge, but a great challenge and very interesting. Some of my friends are still up there, and my family's still up there. But my true passion is being in a high school and involved in athletics, or collegiately, one or the other. And I got a chance to apply for the job at Mesmer and landed it in the summer of 23, and I've been there ever since. And now I live near Brown Deer in the Milwaukee area.
Nice. Very nice.
John, I gotta ask you.
Yep.
I rode all last year with a guy, and I think I know I think I know where you know where I'm going with this. I rode all last year because his son was a senior and I needed transportation with a guy named Jeff Winsler.
Oh, sure. I
And
know Jeff.
Jeff was my ride to every non-conference road game because because I didn't know how to do transportation at the time.
Sure.
And Jeff
Yep.
Jeff just talks about his talking about you and asks about you all the time. So
Yep.
yeah, so it's cool. It's cool.
Yep. Yeah,
Very
Jeff
nice.
Jeff worked at Mesmer for a couple of years with me. He's not there anymore, but he did work
Yes,
for a
sir.
couple of years. Good guy. Yep.
Yes, sir. Good guy.
John, is there anything else you think that people should know about AJ, or any stories you'd like to share about him? Or
I still think the best story about AJ. I mean, there's a lot of them, but the best story about AJ is when he was with us at St. Catherine's, is how he ended up at practice and at games all the time. And the person, you talk about Jeff Wensler and him getting the games for Homestead. Well, the person that gets the credit for that is Mike Ritkers. Correct, AJ?
Yes, he does.
Mike
Yes, he does.
Ritkers is, and to this day, is still, I don't talk to Mike much anymore, but Mike was go ahead, AJ.
I was at Mike's engagement party in June, Johnny, and I just couldn't thank the man enough because what that kid did every day was he transferred me to my manual chair. He picked me up for practice and games from the group home. And had to listen to me when I had something to talk about in the group home. So that man has been a godsend in my life, and he's awesome. And I will see him next Friday, Johnny. So I'll make sure to say hi to you.
Please. AJ, here's another funny story with you and Ritkers. Remember the elevator you had to ride at St. Catherine's to get up to the gym?
Horrible. It's still there, Johnny.
Yes, it is.
It's still there.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Johnny, I'm going to tell you the story. So,
Yeah.
Amanda's brother went to St. Catherine's, right?
okay,
And she had to ride in the same exact elevator that we're talking about right now. And she has the same stories. It's a horrible elevator. It's a horrible elevator.
You always think it's gonna die on you, and you're gonna get stuck in there.
can you imagine getting stuck in there with AJ? Oh my God!
Well, Johnny, remember when I came to interview with you at the office? And I came in my power chair and we realized, oh shoot, this isn't gonna work. Because it didn't fit.
Yep.
It didn't fit. So all of a sudden,
Nope, it did not fit.
all of a sudden, Jack, I'm riding in the elevator in my manual Packer wheelchair for an entire year. Because the gym was on the second floor.
Yep. And
Wow.
the auxiliary gym was on the third floor.
Yeah, right.
It's still that way.
You can tell when AJ feels strongly about something. He goes into the AJ
Yes.
octave. He goes, horrible.
Hey, John.
Yes.
John,
Yeah.
there's a reason you didn't let me coach freshmen, and that's because I would never got up there.
Yeah, exactly. Right. I told Bennett he's not coaching freshmen. That's right.
That's funny.
Jack, how did you and AJ get connected?
Through an organization, a person, Mel of Mel's Charities. I don't know if you've heard of Mel's Charities. It's in Osaka County. So Tom Stanton, Mel, I do a daily podcast, and we were looking it's just about people and things that we find, local things we find funny and fun. And we wanted a sports guy. And so we asked Mel, because he knows so many people, and the person that we originally thought about wasn't available. He said, I know a guy who he just lives through sports. He'd do a heck of a job. So he connected us. We talked a few times on the phone, and then AJ was he was like, I don't know, this is going to be too much at first, but then it worked out just great. AJ's been with us. How many years has it been, AJ?
This is year number 3, Jack.
Year number 3. Okay. So that's how we were connected. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, well, Jack, I know you're on a time crunch.
Yep.
So,
Yeah. But this is great, John. I've heard a lot about you. AJ is so excited to have you be part of this.
Oh,
He just
that's awesome.
he went in AJ active and was talking really fast, which he tends to do when he's excited. So
Sure.
very
Oh,
cool.
yeah.
Johnny,
Let's
thank
do it
you.
again. Let's do it again.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We can make it happen if you're available.
For sure, man.
Yeah, let us know sometimes.
Sure. Absolutely.
And I owe you a lunch too, Johnny. So I'll get that to you too.
Good luck collecting on that. He owes me about 4 of them, John. He never pays.
Sure. No problem, AJ. It's my pleasure. I enjoy doing it. Yep.
I guess.
All right, it's a pleasure to meet you, John. Thanks very much. Do you want to stick on? You want to stay? You want to stay on for AJ's words of wisdom, or I can let you go either way you would like.
I'll stay on.
Okay, so this is the part of everyone's favorite part of the show, the segment that everybody listens in for. It's wisdom that AJ gleans from the world of sports that you can apply to your everyday life and make it a better life. So AJ, with that, let's go.
So this is very important to me, Johnny, and it's probably important to you too. And I'll tie it together on approach to sports. It is National Rare Disease Day. And some people don't, they have rare I wouldn't even call it diseases, conditions. And it's important to bring those to awareness, right?
Right.
So, and I think of this because I think of Amanda, right? They don't know exactly what her disability is. She has a lot of cerebral palsy tendencies, in my opinion, but it was never
She
diagnosed.
beats you at bowling. I know that. She beats you in bowling.
No, let's be real, Jack. Let's be real, Johnny. She does not beat me. She kicks my behind. So if I can tell you one story, Johnny, before you go, okay? So I show up to the first week of bowling, right? And I'm thinking these people bowl in like the 80s and 90s. She comes running up and goes, hey, I bowled a 178. And I go, what did I get myself into? but back to my original point, disabilities and diseases, some don't have answers at this point. So it's just important to realize, to bring those to the forefront and realize that even though you may not know what your exact disability is, your platform and your opportunity is still the same to make a difference in the lives of other people. I can tell you one thing, Jack and John, I can speak from the heart. Without telling my story on the news, there's not a chance I've been able to these platforms will have, or meet her or meet anybody. I gotta tell you one story quick. So I was at a brewery game in June, Johnny. You'll love this. I met a lady who was 67 years old, Luann McGregor. She goes, by chance, did you write a book? I said, yeah. She goes, did you write Finish? I said, yeah, where'd you get it from? She goes, I got my wheelchair repaired and I stole it from their office. So you just never know. It's always important to use your platform.
That's right.
You never know. And you never know. And you know what? Amanda said this to me one time, and I want to share it with you guys. You can always make an impact despite your disability.
Yep.
So yeah.
I got one saying, Jack. I have one saying that describes AJ.
Hold on, I'm on the podcast. I'll tell you in a sec.
Things turn out the best for those that make the best of the way things turn out.
I like that.
Yep.
That's John Wooden. I like that.
That's John Wooden.
I just downloaded the Wooden book on my iPhone too. So
that's a whole other story we can get into in a podcast. I got to know John Wooden. And yes. Yep.
Wow. Very cool.
That's awesome. Yep. All right, Johnny. We'll let you go. Jack, we'll let you go. But thank you guys again. This is awesome. Jack, if you could send us both the link, that would be awesome.
Sure. Yeah, the link, this goes live on YouTube. So, John, I'll send a link of the recording. Great. It'll be up right after we hang up. So I'll send it straight away to you guys.
Wonderful. We'll do it again. Thanks, everybody.
Great. All right. Thanks. Have a great
AJ,
Saturday.
say hi to everybody. All right.
All right. That's it for AJ.
That was awesome, by the way.
He is awesome, Jay. We're still on Bokini.